Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you're watching me from. How are you guys doing? Welcome to Yoyo's World. Thank you for joining me today. If you're watching from Facebook, thank you for being here. And if you're watching me from YouTube, thank you for joining me as well. How are you doing? How has your day been? I do apologize. This live stream was to go on yesterday, but I got to be a parent first before being any other thing. So unfortunately, I had a kids engagement, so I couldn't make the live stream. Let me make sure I can hear myself very well. Okay, if you can hear me okay in the comment section, let me know. Let me be sure I can hear myself very well because I just had to come live. Okay. All right, so I can hear myself perfectly well. Join me to discuss this hot afternoon. Is it really hot in your area? It's not in mine. Anyways, how are you guys doing? Welcome to my live stream. Thank you guys for joining me today. Yesterday, the story made rounds that Korra Obidi that CPS was called on Korra Obidi and they stormed her home. For those arguing it wasn't true, that happened on a live stream. Most of the things that happened to Korra Obidi in the course of this her divorce saga, has always happened during a live stream. Remember the attack in London was on a live stream. She was live streaming before it happened. And she was as well live streaming, and the CPS came knocking at her door. So as you come into this live stream, please don't forget to like the live stream for me. So when that happened, she carried her camera and the lady was asking questions that a report was made. Their attention was called to your home for negligence. That was number one, because I took notes on the questions that the lady was asking Kora. Let me settle well, okay? So their attention was called because of negligence. That the lady was talking about it, saying that I hope you know. Are you still? Another question the lady asked Kora was, "Are you still doing live?" Kora said, "Of course, I'm still doing live." Do you want me to come in? Absolutely no. That's the right way to go. And the next one will be, do you want me to come in? Said no. Are you still doing live? Yes. Then do you remember the terms and condition on your settlement agreement? Yes, I do, according to Kora. Kora was answering yes, and then that's admission. And then I want to put it out here, okay? If someone comes into your home, let's say the CPS or whoever, and they come asking those questions, the first thing you're going to do is to demand for the person's ID card to make sure the person is who she or he or they are saying they are. You have to demand, okay, how do you identify yourself? May I see your ID to know that you're actually from the state, that you're a CPS? And the person will provide means of identification. It's now left for you to either reach out to your lawyer so you don't respond to anybody, especially when you have an active case. And in the case of Kora, I can't call that an active case, but still, you can make the calculation that it might as well fall in the category of an active case. The case was closed on October 24th after they agreed to, signed an agreement on how they will co-parent in peace moving forward. And this was signed before the court. So the court was witness to the signatures and they both went with their document. So when this lady came asking Kora those indicting questions that will make you say yes or no, those are not the answers you should be giving. Okay, our attention was drawn to you. The response will be on what? Like Kora said, what is the allegation right now? You have to put a question back because you want to demand an answer. So Kora answered rightly. What allegation are you guys talking about? If there is no document to show this is the allegation we are coming about, and if there is no proof to ascertain the person is from CPS, you don't have any right to open your doors for the person. The person has to prove that it's from a government agency with an approved ID card, because you're protecting yourself and that of your children. So the reason why the woman left was because she saw Kora's camera. I don't want to appear in your video. If you're doing live stream, I got to go. Kora said, fine. But the right thing to do, can I see your ID card? Can I identify you? Do you know who the person is? If the person is CPS, they will show you their ID card, which will bear the state they are representing and the agency they are representing. Don't be in a hurry to open your doors ajar for a stranger to come in. Make sure you know the stranger coming into your home. Okay? Now, the lady made mention about the kind of videos that the children will appear on. We are going to be talking about that in a moment. If you have a pen, you might also note it down. The judgment of the court said the video must be tasteful. And that's that's a way to trap somebody in. You know, this word tasteful, what is the true meaning of it? What is the legal meaning of it? What can the court deduce to be tasteful? That is an ambiguous word on describing how your video or your live stream should be. But they tried to coin this word so that it will be the ambience, the peripheral you're working with. Oh, no. All right. So they were alleging that Kora was negligent with her child in the kitchen because the child was in the kitchen in the first place. From the CPS lady's question, she talked about are the children cooking at home? Kora said no. Of course, they are not cooking. They can't even get to the height of the stove, madam. What kind of question is that? But anyway, the likes of Mua, I started cooking at age 6 because the stove then wasn't that high. Okay. Then that answer Kora gave was perfect. No, they are not cooking, but they cook with me. Perfect answer. They cook with me. What does that mean? If I'm in the kitchen and they come around, they want to play with doughs, of course, I will allow them to play with the cookie dough. If they want to crack egg with me, of course, I will allow them to crack the egg. But do they get to stay on the stove? No. So you can't say they are cooking, but they are kitchen assistant. They can get a bowl for a parent to mix anything. They can get spoon, they can get cutleries, things like that. Kitchen napkin to wipe the table. Yes, these are the things kids can do while in the kitchen. Is it forbidden for children to be in the kitchen? No, there is no rule that say that is forbidden. The only thing that an adult must be with them at all times. In this case, Kora is an adult. And was she active in the kitchen? Yes. She wasn't in the living room watching television and sending the kids on errand to go do things in the kitchen. So that answer she gave was perfect. They cook with me in the kitchen. Now, Kora asked, what's the allegation against me? Good question to ask them back. Very perfect question. Then what did the person? Well, it has been brought to our attention. There is allegation that you were negligent with your child. How? How do you mean negligent with your child? Another question back to the person. How do you mean? Is there any document you need me to read so that I can understand at what point I was negligent with my child? Or are you relying on trolls on social media reporting me at every given opportunity? What are your facts? To now say you're bouncing to my home, or rather pouncing to my home on an allegation that you did not verify the fact. So when they come in with those kind of trolls reporting you on social media, you have to be throwing back to them questions. It's not the time for you to start giving the answers. Yes, because they will ask you questions for you to pull out an admission from you, so you don't need to. And whereby the allegation they are saying is alleged that this is being brought to attention. You say, you know what? If you're not giving me the facts of your story, the allegation involved that made you come to my house, I need to read the document. If the document is not presented to you, if it's based on oral request, they can't just come out from their office to do house visits like that. It must have been documented before the person leaves office. All right. the coordinator must have, okay, there is this case, we have reviewed the report, we want you to go. There must be a trail showing that somebody from that agency is being sent out on behalf of the state. The person can't just wake up because you got a call on the phone and go. So you have to be demanding for those documentation to show that the person is from the state. Number one is their ID card. You need to verify where the person is coming from. A lot of people can pretend to be anything. Okay, so don't fall into anybody pretending to be anything. Make sure you ask the right questions, make sure you provide the right answers, whereby you're not clear on how to respond. What you need to do, oh, I'm confused with all these questions you're asking. You know what? Give me your number. My lawyer is going to reach out to you. If you need us to come for a meeting, yes, we can. You get it? So you officially round that thing up before any, giving answers that might implicate you in the future. Now, let's get back to tasteful. And I'll be pulling out Hey, Real Talk with Nessie. How are you, beautiful? Longest time. I hope you're doing okay. Welcome to my live stream. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you immensely. So let me pull up my search button. Okay, so let's search the full meaning of tasteful. Okay, tasteful. Tasteful. All right, so let's get it. All right. In the court document, the videos that the court said, yeah, the kids can appear on your videos on your live stream, but they should not be made the focus point of the video. How is something a focus point of the video? Today, I'm talking about, my title is saying Korra Obidi's update, CPS called on Kora. Do you still do live stream? Those were the questions the CPS asked Kora. The focus point of my conversation today is on Kora and the CPS. And who is the person talking? Me. Assuming I'll now come and then bring my child, to interview my child. My child becomes the focus point because I'm talking about a teenager. I'm interviewing her based on her experience as a teenager. She should tell me A, B, C, and D. You understand? So I've made my child the focus point of the conversation. So the document of the court says the kids can appear in your video, can be there on your live stream. Do not make them the focus point of the live stream. So assuming Kora is cooking and they come around in the kitchen to ask for carrots, or maybe they want to eat bacon, or maybe they want to just drink water or play with their mom in the kitchen, you can't call that as the focus point of the video because they are not going to be there steady. They might be there for 2 minutes while the video is for 1 hour. You get what I'm saying? So 1 hour, net it out from net 2 minutes from 1 hour. You will see the focus point is still the Kora cooking in the kitchen or Kora doing her whatever she's doing on her life. In as much as the kids come and go does not make them focus point. The place they are going to, if care is not taken, you guys know I like to keep it straight. I like to keep it straight. The place that Kora need to be very watchful, when I mean watchful, is on that word tasteful. Tasteful videos or live stream. Okay. Hey, Entertainment Daily. Thank you for joining me today. This is going to be a very short one. That's why I'm quickly trying to tidy up. So, tasteful, in terms of definition, if you go to Google, you can actually pull it up from Oxford dictionary, and any dictionary you can find on the internet, you can actually pull it up to see the meaning. So I'm going to start with the Cambridge English Dictionary, what it says about tasteful. Okay, that's where Kora needs to buckle up. Okay, attractive and choosing for style and quality. Okay, quality. Their house is very tasteful, but it doesn't have any soul. Remember, tasteful is beautifully decorated and all of that. It has to be, it has to have quality and of style. This is definition by who again did I pull up? Let me be very sure. Is saying Cambridge Dictionary. Okay. Then I'm gonna go back again Tasteful, showing good judgment, especially in style. Good judgment, tasteful. Then for you, what could be tasteful for you might be different for me. You understand? That's where the word is kind of tricky. You need to watch out on that word. So some people go to say they go for quality classic that are accented with tasteful accessories. That's kind of a definition for you to have an idea. And then if I go back to regular, the one Google will give you, is saying showing good judgment and appropriate behavior. Good judgment and appropriate behavior. Remember, we are looking for what tasteful really means. Having good taste. The simple man will say having good taste. So on this note, I will say Kora needs to be careful. Okay? If you have direct access to her, that's the word you should be concerned about. And why am I saying this? To some people, and our America going forward is definitely going to be entirely different. Starting from January 20th, everybody should buckle up, okay? Because more moral than thou and more deputy Jesus, everybody will now start acting as if they are holier than you. So what could be tasteful before me, it will not be tasteful before you. I'm going to give an example of our African culture. As Africans, we are rooted in tradition and culture. Our food is very aromatic. Okay? You see how I stretch the very. For example, if you go to the Eastern Nigeria and they are making a bitter leaf soup, they will put ogilisi. That is the fermented castor oil seed. You understand? That is the aroma they want to, perceive from that food. To another person, that is disgusting. So the word tasteful could mean different things to different people, depending on which lens are you watching from. Now, if you go to the Yoruba land in Nigeria, they have ewedu, not ewedu, oh my God, a foriro soup. They use dawa dawa, something like that to make it. It's very tasteful. Even to the Eastern Nigerians, they understand that castor oil bean. We use it as well. So to us as Nigerians, those are delicacies. Those are nicely prepared dishes, tasteful, quality food that we eat and cherish. I'm going to give the simple, basic one, stockfish. Okporoko. People have called the police on their neighbors for cooking okporoko in America. Okporoko, just simple okporoko. One of the stories I heard when I came here, one man was cooking okporoko, and then the neighbor called Olokpa. Olokpa came. They said that yes, like the man was cooking ishimadu. Do you understand? They knocked at the house. The guy opened the door, was surprised to see the police. What is going on here? We have a complaint about your neighbor about stinking thing. And what is stinking here? They say, oh, officer, I'm making okporoko. That is our delicacy. The man started blowing the Nigerian delicacy, talking about the food. By the time they searched the man's house, they realized he was simply cooking his local traditional food. So to them, oh, that's disgusting, right? Now back to the word tasteful. When the court said the video should be tasteful, it should be a quality video, it should be of good behavior. These are the words to be looking at when you're talking about tasteful. We talked about good behavior. We haven't talked about having good taste. We talked about good judgment. We talked about appropriate behavior. These are the things the court will be looking at. And what does that mean? When you are around the kids, how do you dance? You guys, we all know Korra dance had was. So that is where she needs to step it up. She needs to buckle up. When you are around the kids, those was and twerking is not needed because they are going to catch you from that. And if you're unlucky, it will be a holier than thou judge, the deputy Jesus, these all sent people, right? They are going to use that against you. So if you have direct access to Korra, these are the things you have to bring into her consideration. And why am I saying this? Is it that America has turned born again overnight? Don't mind them. But when people are chasing you, you have to be very careful. Nothing stops her from doing her live stream however she wants to do it. But when it comes to things that require appropriate things you do before a child, especially kids of that age, then you have to think about the kind of things you put out there as an adult. Okay? That is key. Because that woman, the CPS was emphasizing, that in that document, they said the video must be tasteful. Why was that the first word that came to her mind? Before she even said you're not supposed to, she never said you're not supposed to make the kids the focus point of the video. But she's more concerned about the word tasteful. Take your time and research a little about the word, then you understand. And if truly you love Kora, that's where you call her attention. Forget everything people are reporting, CPS on plant frying oil poured on the child, which I never saw in that video. I took my time after Entertainment Daily yesterday to go rewatch that particular stream. The child was coming down from the mother's neck and hit her leg on the kitchen decks. That did not show in the part of the video, but if you know how American sketching are, she must have hit her leg on getting that on the kitchen decks. When I mean the kitchen table, the work table of the kitchen cabinet, that's what most people call it. And she was like, "Mom, my leg, my leg." She was saying that in the video. At first, Korra didn't catch it, but when she got it and said, "Oh, come on, baby, come on," the regular affection. We are not on here to measure affection Korra is giving to her children. If you ask me, it's no damn person's business. But for those thinking it was oil that poured on the child and she ignored it, think again. Those children you see, they are the joy that Korra has in this life. They are the reason she wakes up every morning to grind. So for you to be in your house and call CPS on somebody and frame what did not happen, you can never love those children more than they are. Whether she's a perfect mother or an imperfect mother, you can't. So the thing they alleged did not happen. Because what I expected the CPS to do before sending someone outside was to sit down and listen to the allegation. But I want to believe it wasn't just one that made them come. So it simply means it's October 24 that judgment was, agreed upon. These people they've continued to report Korra to CPS. So anybody thinking that this matter is resting is not resting. I've tried not to talk about it again because I felt the agreement was fair for two adults that are parents to these children to be able to figure themselves out. I remember when we started talking about this, one of the things I told Justin, if Justin had taken his mind off Korra Obidi for a moment and focused on himself and the children, he would have been making content on the children and being a role model to all the single fathers out there. But because of hatred and anger, it clouded his judgment. Instead of chasing the real deal, they were chasing after Korra. Marriage is not by force. If it's working for you, praise the Lord. Enjoy it. Whereby it's not working, don't drag the other person down. Don't be wishing that person ill. Because that person is still part of your life. You guys share children together. Pray for them and wish them well. Send them off their way so that your soul will be lighter and your feet will walk confidently, knowing that you have nothing against anybody. But that wasn't the case. The attention was on Korra, what to do to her, how to demonetize her, how to kick her out of social media. And the last time I checked, the platform is owned by Mark Zuckerberg and all their executives and shareholders. It's not owned by all these trolls or minions on social media. So let's think about it and think deeply. These people from that October 21st, they've been reporting Korra. For CPS to show up is not one allegation, because they'll be reviewing those documents and then probably send someone eventually to do a house visit. They don't just receive call and dash out. But the question I have, and I've asked this question when I talked briefly on Mr. Korra Obidi's nanny. I said, all these things this lady is throwing here on social media, how many of those things did she report to CPS? The living condition of the home, how he'll pass out not knowing that the kids are not in bed sleeping. How many of those things did they report to CPS? They said that Jeba is already reporting. If they actually did and no CPS had visited the person, do you think there was anything filed against anybody? I don't think so. But for CPS to come knocking at Korra's door, they have been reporting Korra since they started seeing the kids on the live stream. Every small thing she does, they will report. So if you love Korra, tell her the enemies are not sleeping yet. Tell her they haven't backed out yet. Tell her it's now time for her to be what? To be vigilant, especially when the kids are in her video. This word, tasteful, as stated in that agreement, tasteful can either make or mar, depending on who is defining this word. And again, remember, the legal system or judicial system in America is very wide. I can't say it enough. So if this continues and they have a very reasonable video, I can't say I've seen any, but I'm saying if you love Korra, this is the time for you to tell her to go back to that document. If she is not getting the definition well, because you might not be able to define it legally what it means, get your lawyer, sit down with her for 30 minutes and have that conversation. The videos she does cooking with her children is perfect. The videos she does cleaning up with them, excellent. Doing laundry and then helping, perfect. But the video of shaking the bum bum, shaking the behind with the children can be categorized not to be tasteful. Because there are some acts an adult is permitted to do and nobody's going to frown. But there are some you can't do before your children. You get what I'm saying? I remember years back about Cardi B when people asked her a question about her. Cardi B is a twerker. She's a singer, and also before she started being popular, she was a twerker, is pole dancer. Okay, so they asked her, "What will you say if your kids should lay your hands on your videos or your music?" You say, "I'm not making my music for my kids. It's not for children." She doesn't make her music for kids because of the curse words in the music and the adult things they speak in the music. So she knows what she's saying, that her videos, her songs are not for kids. So her kids will not get to listen to it. By the time they will get to listen to her videos or her songs, they would have been reasonably grown to understand one or two. Now, are these kids in question that grown to understand one or two? You do the answer and let me know. And in your own private moment, take a moment to research on the word tasteful. Ask legally, what does it mean? Ask the English definition, what does it mean? Find out what it means. Because as far as I'm concerned, people will report, people will continue to call CPS. So far, she's doing the right things with the children on her video, there is no cause to worry. The only thing that can use to get to her if the videos aren't tasteful. And like I said, it depends on who is the judge sitting on that decision to define tasteful. All right. Let me go back and welcome some of you that I didn't say hello to. Welcome all of you. Candy say, hi, do you think it's okay to put hot pan and pot in front of them? Your honest opinion. Hot pan and pot in front of them, I didn't see that. What I heard from the video was the sizzling noise from the stove. Okay, I'm gonna try to explain Kora's kitchen so you can be able to visualize. Candy, if you're still here, the sink is by the window as every other home, okay? And then the stove is beside the sink, okay? And that is just facing me. So behind my camera here, behind here is where the sink is. Let's assume this is Kora, okay? And then I'm standing back in the sink, okay? And then facing the camera this way. And in front of the camera is the kitchen, the work area, the kitchen workspace, the table where you have the drawers. And there is what? The extension, which is the dining area of the house, is an open kind of concept kind of home. So that's the kitchen on this side behind me. Then the other side is where she was doing the cutting, where she placed her phones for the live stream. So the pot and the hot pan you're talking about is way off where Kora and her daughter was standing. So Candy, if you're still here, I hope I answered your question. If there is any place she placed a pot, when you mean place, assuming this is my pot, this is June, okay? This, my microphone is June, and I'll now come and be placing the pot in front of June like this. That I did not see. That never happened. And that is what it means to put a hot pan in front of the child. This is putting a hot pan in front of the child. Not when the pan is on the stove, because I heard the sizzling sound. I did not see that she put that on front of the children. Okay. You're so right. Thank you, Entertainment Daily. Tessa, thank you for joining. Hi, MTA. Thank you for coming. Good evening, Auntie Yo-Yo, Sis, Kora, and everyone. Thank you, Ife, for joining us today. Thank you. Auntie Jeba did report him. Okay. I hope that is the case, because those things we saw on Facebook and Instagram are not a livable condition for any child. And that is a CPS thing. So maybe they are visiting him as well as they are visiting Kora. That I cannot ascertain, okay? Island Diva said, when they say tasteful, by whose standard? What is tasteful to you? Exactly. That's what I said here, Islander. It depends on who is defining the taste. I gave obvious examples of our African food, where we are from. The things we add to our delicacy, our food is known for aromatic, is known to be very flavorful. To the Oyibos, they will say it's stinking, but that is us defining our food. So I gave that example before you joined the video. It depends on who is doing the definition. And like I said, the judicial system here is very wide. And if it happens to be one of these almighty now claiming to be the deputy Jesus, kind of sitting on the pew to define that, that means they are going to define it by their own category. So that's what, if you truly love Kora, that's where she has to watch out for that word coined in that document. That tasteful can mean a lot of things at the same time. All right, let's say. You Lady D, thank you for joining. The child was not born. Definitely. They can say whatever they want to say. The child, not even the oil, was close to where they were standing. They were standing close to the camera. The stove was very far. If not, I'm using laptop, I would have gotten up to carry my laptop and show you where my stove is, where my island table is, and then the other work area for better definition. But I'm not going to do that here. Candy said, I'm sorry, but there is a video of Athena touching the hot bun she took from the stove. Okay, Candy, is that what you're saying? Touching the hot pot she took from the stove? Okay. The thing about, let me give you an example of what happened to me when I was a lot younger. A lot younger. My mom had a grandchild come visiting that was doing vacation with us. Then I was very young. So the little girl was about 2 plus. Okay. So if she sees a candle light, she wants to go and touch it. Light, 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 light. She wants to go and touch it. So my mom was the first grandchild. They're always very cherished. Everything they say is fine. Everything you want to do for your first grandchild. That was what happened in this case. So this child continues whenever she sees lantern, candle, she's very fascinated. If she happens to find herself in the kitchen and she sees fire from stove, the child was super, super fascinated about it. So my mom was like, Nne, stop. Uncle, fire, fire. She didn't get it. She didn't get it. It's going to burn her. So she tried to demonstrate that if she tried to get close to the boss, she would say, oh, pain, 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 pain. That is hurting her for the little child to understand. Sometimes she will run away. But when you're not looking, guess what happened? One day, nobody was looking. She went and touched the fire and she came back crying, fire, fire. And guess what? After that incident, she never went back to touching fire again. So some kids can be very, very, they can have that exploring spirit. They want to find out, very adventurous and all of that. They want to find out. They want to do this. You can only control what you can. And Candy, I don't know if you're a lady or a man, if you're a mother or a grandmother or niece or you have nieces or nephew, if you can tell me that you never had your child or your relative or your friend's daughter get into 1 or 2 kitchen accidents, then I will tell you are not living, because those things happen. Kids have the inquisitive nature. They want to try things out. Until they get into it, they're not going to let go. So if that's the reason they are calling CPS on Kora, tell them Oyoyo said they are very jobless. They are so jobless and so hopeless that they just want Kora to die. Take my word to them if you know them. And with this thing you're seeing now, there was a day in one video that Tena touched the pot the mother was taking down from the stove. So at the time, the way you described it is showing that it was an accident that happened. Nobody has ever ruled out accidents happening in the kitchen. And I gave you a typical example of what happened when I was about 8, 9. That was what happened at 8, 9, 10. Right? Thereabouts. That was what happened to my niece. And like I said, if that's the reason why they are calling CPS on Kora, tell them I said they are very jobless and they are very hateful and they don't want them to see Kora smile, but unfortunately they are not God. Now I have a question. For the fact that a child mistakenly touched a hot pan in the kitchen, I'm trying to get better view because the light is bombarding me with rays. My house is filled with glasses by the kitchen area. I want to ask you a question, Candy, if you're still here. The living condition of Mr. Korra Obidi's home, did that consign you to be a case for CPS? I'm asking you now. I need your honest opinion. Did that concern you? Were you concerned about the condition of the kitchen where these kids' food are made, or the general living environment where you see poop on clothes and clothes littered everywhere? Were you concerned? Is that a CPS case? And then quantify that, or rather compare that with the fact that a child mistakenly touched a hot pan in the kitchen. Let me know what your answer is, okay? Let me know. Until you're correct, dancing in front of the case is fine. I asked my friend who was in CPA in California. See, MTA, you could ask your friend who is a CPS. It depends on who you're asking. Remember what I said if you've been listening from the beginning. This word tasteful will depend on who is what defining it. And always remember that Kora, the last time I checked, she's as black as I am. So these are the things you have to put in place, especially in our new America that is happening very soon. Okay, Candy said, I'm sorry, but you watched the wrong video, okay? Right in front of Athena's eyes. and Kora touched, Athena touched it. Kora took from the stove and put it right in front of Athena's eye. I didn't see that video, but if you're still here, Candy, I asked you a question about the living condition of Mr. Korra Obidi. Did that concern you as an individual to have called CPS to go visit that home and inspect the house? If that concerns you, let me know what you think before I will tell you my opinion. Okay. Personally, Korra should show the kids in pre-recorded video as opposed to live. And because abuse can happen in a life. Yeah, she can't take back once it shows. Then minions are always recording her. Exactly. Island Diva, we talked about this thing. It's better you do a pre-recorded video where you sit back, edit the video, the parts you don't like, you chop them off. You understand? And present your video the way you want it to appear. I'm trying to run away from this. The oh my god, the light from the sun is crazy. Okay. um Q Lady D, African culture is totally different from American culture of serving and cooking food. Being American, I would not have put the skillet on the table. The baby A is a toddler and she has learned. Okay, so that means Q Lady D must have seen the video they were making reference to. Okay, yeah. Yeah, for me, I can put a skillet on a table, but it has to be with a pot, a placemat, a pot mat, the thing, pot holder. You have to place it on a pot holder, not on your kitchen slab. These are the little kitchen things you can do. Candy, how come her fingers are not burnt? And why are you guys this shallow? All right. She has learned not to touch everything when mommy says don't touch. Exactly. That's one thing I know. If that event actually happened, that child has learned. It happened to my niece, and my niece is in her 30s right now. Okay. MTA, parents have to be responsible and not continue to make the same mistake. Okay, I get you, Candy. I did ask Candy a question and I hope she's unable to answer me. Yes, true, but parents should take consideration not to put hot stuff in front of the kids. It is done again. It was done again. Thankfully, Athena did not touch it. Candy is very responsible and way caring that a person you're defending. Okay, if Candy is still here, I did ask a question, so I'm expecting Candy to answer me. MTA said, no, Entertainment Daily said, Mr. Kora letting the kids to drink alcohol. Which one is what? Okay, leaving the kids to letting the child drink alcohol. I don't understand this one. Hello, sis. That this Yaba left Candy don't come again. I get it. The real CPS worker knows the children aren't cooking. Okay. Candy said, did the nanny do that on purpose or just to throw a shade? Candy, that's not the answer I'm expecting from you. You said you don't. Yes, the nanny did that on purpose. I don't defend no one. You haven't answered my question. I asked you a question, and the question is clear. You're not defending anybody. You're trying to stand on the truth, okay? And I want to hear your opinion. The question again, the living condition of Mr. Korra Obidi's kitchen, house, and home entirely, is it a thing that someone like you should call CPS for to visit the home? Does that bother you? We are not telling you to judge anybody. We are telling you to speak the truth. If this is the one truth you're going to say today, we want to hear. Because if you're making food from that level of filth in the kitchen and you're feeding the same to the children, you're preparing recipe for disaster. It's going to be what? Diarrhea magnified. So let me know what your answer is. If that living condition we all saw on social media warrant a call or a visit by CPS to Mr. Korra Obidi's house, I need to hear your opinion. I am sure all of us can attest to some memories or story where an accident happened, of course, to a child. No mother is going to intentionally let her down. Exactly, exactly, exactly. If anybody is telling me you haven't been around children and they do some silly accident happen at home, in the kitchen or wherever, that means you're not living. That means you are not alive, or you don't have any relative, that you're just born alone. You don't even have friends that could have children or have been around children. But if you've been around children, okay, and then still claim that you haven't noticed that or seen that or witnessed that or heard about it discussed, that means you need to go back and try to start from the scratch, ask questions. All right. But accidents do happen, and dies, it warrants a child to remove from the home, because malicious haters continuously report this mother. They need to leave Kora alone. Exactly. And the reason I'm saying what I'm saying, Kora might not be able to stop doing live, but she can actually do pre-recorded videos and edit them. There is this lady that I used to teach on YouTube tips in the past. What this lady does now, she sits down, she makes 5 live streams, and she'll be premiering them as live stream, 5 in a day. And don't think they're 20 minutes. Some of them are 2 hours, some 1 hour. She will be there with all her facts. When she finishes, she record her live stream, edit them, and she broadcasts them. That can be done, and Kora can do that. Then on the day she doesn't want to do that, she can go on her live. If she has nanny, the nanny can take care of the children. They can come in and out as expected, but not to be the vocal point of the video, especially now that she's putting up her studio in her home. If you truly, genuinely love Kora, tell her there is this lady, or don't give my name if you don't want to, that's saying that among everything that is written on that agreement, she should be careful with the word tasteful. Because the way I would define it is different from the way you would define it. I would define it, first of all, from my culture. What do we perceive tasteful? You know, the way an Oyibo person will come and wear a dress for an event. If you're calling an African woman to come an event, she's going to wear a proper sewn lace with gele on top. And is when they dress like that, I would say that woman was tastefully dressed. So to another person, the Oyibo will say, why are they looking like masquerade? You get what I'm saying? So please, let's all always remember, there are certain things you need to watch out for. These people haven't stopped reporting Kora. It wasn't because of one kitchen incident that CPS showed up. They've been reporting Kora from the very first video Kora made with the children. We are back. I'm live again. They've been reporting Kora. And the more you tell her the obvious truth, nobody is telling her not to do videos with her kids, but she should be careful. That's a good word to send to someone you truly love. All right. Candy, what about Mr. Kora leaving the kids unattended in the bathroom with the running water? Um, Candy say it depends if it was a mess for grown women. If it was a mess grown women made to make someone look bad, what mess are you talking about? What the nanny made? Candy, if you pretend not to know what I'm talking about, that means you're not supposed to be here. If you pretend to dodge my question, that means you're not supposed to be here. This is where I give an absolute opinion. When I mean absolute clear opinion, I don't try to miss words. I'm asking you again, if you did not consider any of those things that Jeba, the nanny of Mr. Korra Obidi, shared on social media to be a thing that could warrant CPS visit, that means you're one of, if in fact, that means you're the person that must have called the CPS on Kora. If none of those things bothered you, but the fact that a child had a kitchen accident is what is a big deal for you. How about the living condition of the place? How about leaving your child, your little babies, in bathtub filled with water? How many bathtub accidents have you experienced in America? How about getting drunk and lying down, sleeping, and forgetting the fact that you have kids to tuck into bed? Before you come pointing fingers on people and say you're the bad one, you're the wrong one, think otherwise. 4 of your fingers are pointing right back at you. They say he who wants to come to equity, you must come with clean hands. If your hands are soaked with dirt and mess, don't think of coming to get equity. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. All right. Nobody calls CPS on Mr. Korra. When he dropped baby A on his head, it wasn't working. She wasn't working when that happened. Yeah, if it was about carrying the child on the head, I don't think that is why they are calling CPS. But if they are doing that, Mr. Korra Obidi did the same thing and nobody made a fuss about it. Why is it that everything Korra does is a fuss? People make noise, everything, because they can't get over Korra. They can't get the fact upon all these things we did and she's still thriving. Leave this woman to raise her kids. We all, as mothers, will learn this parenting on the job. There was no lesson. We learned it on the job. How to carry your baby from the hospital. The doctors will put you through. You carry like this. Nurses, they will try to do the education. How to give your child a bath from the first time you left home is your responsibility. Let me give another example for when I mean tasteful. From where we come from, you can't give your child bath in your kitchen sink. That is distasteful from where we're from. Carry your newborn baby and come to the kitchen sink to bathe your child is distasteful. But to the Oyibo, is very tasteful. That's how they bathe their new baby. Where we are from, we have to have a bathing bowl for a child, and it must be done in the bathroom. So it depends on who is defining this word. If you love Korra, that's what you should watch out from. Forget about these people reporting her. She's doing cooking with her children. Those are not really what I am concerned about. I am concerned about if she does her was, what she wears and does all of those, how she does it when the kids are around. Those are the things you should be careful with. And the song the kids are singing, another thing you should be careful with. All right, guys, I didn't know I could get to 51 minutes of this live stream. It's actually a very short live stream I wanted to do. I'm going to read the rest of the comment and then get back to this to tell you guys thank you for joining me today. If he said even his fridge, it wasn't just the nanny. What about Crystal's video as well that said the fridge was disgusting? Is she doing that too to throw shade? Good question for Candy if she's still here. Atina did not touch the pot. Thank you so much, Kembley, for joining me. Folashade said, my younger brother once touched a burning candle and learned a lesson from it, even though we always protected him from it. It happened in my eyes. Folashade, it was my sister's daughter that came visiting. It was until that candle light burned my sister's daughter. She did not stop trying until she got burnt. And that was the end of it. Whoever is taking the nanny side is mental, not job, because she went to Korra's house for RO plus co-sign when he called the cops. So continue to send nanny. Candy, you're not being, I'm sorry, you are one of the biggest problems. You are that person that will see the truth and bend it to suit you. You are that person that will not see anything Mr. Korra Obidi Justin did wrong. So you're the problem. You are one of those reporting Korra's page. Leave Korra alone to raise her children. She's not the only person ever married to a Caucasian male. And she will not be the last. So I'm telling you, Candy, you're not being honest. You're not even close to it. Whether the nanny was mental, whether the nanny, whoever believing the nanny wasn't mental or something, I asked you an honest question and you cannot provide an answer. One thing you need to know that the call of life and death is not in your hands. The power to live and not to live is not in your hands. So you and every other person reporting Korra should leave her alone. If you cannot be able to call a spade, then you're not fit to be in my live stream. Okay? So let's see. Kembley said Korra would not do many pre-recorded because then she can ask for stars and coffee. If you tell her anything, she blocks you. Kora does the same thing, Justin does. Okay, so what else? Why nobody reported calls when Junie ran in to her live stream with needles when she could have fallen on the needles, and when he dropped the baby on her head? Why was the minions not reporting those incidents? No, it's very clear that they just don't want Korra to leave. Unfortunately, they are not God. And Dana said the hate for Korra is so real that she will never do anything right in their eyes. I went to one of the haters' page just to see how perfect they were, since they can judge someone else uneasily. And I was shocked to see her in tongues, showing them everything. I sent her a message calling her a hypocrite, and she disappeared from the site. Whoa! The same people accusing Kora really need, whoa, to examine themselves. You will be shocked at what you will find. I have never seen such hate for one individual. Anyway, it's very clear, and thank you so much, Vina, for that. I really appreciate. Um, and Norma said, Candy, please get off this lady's live because, okay. Thank you so much, Nema. I really wish I have more time for this live stream. If you want us to continue this conversation, we can definitely continue that much later in the evening. I want to appreciate all of you for joining me today. And like I said, Candy, if you have answers to my question, bring that in the comment section of this video, and I will be very delighted to respond to all your answers. Like I said, you could not give me a simple answer to a question. If you have seen that dirty, filthy kitchen on Korra's kitchen, you would have called CPS 20 times in hot minute. If you have seen Korra's house to be that filthy, whether it was shared by a mentally deranged person or not, you would have still called CPS maybe 100 times in a day because of her house being filthy, her kitchen having moles and flies all over the place. Your likes would have still called CPS on Korra. So the bottom line of what I'm saying today is, let us know what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. Let us pay attention to what is important. And if you truly love Korra, tell her to be mindful of that word I shared today, tasteful, as defined in that their court document. And for every other person reporting her, so far she's doing right by the case and doing the right things, nobody should hold any of those things, to heart. If they want to conduct their investigation, they should conduct the investigation. If they have any case, they can summon Korra to the court to answer to those questions, or summon her to their office to answer to those questions. Okay. So I want to thank all of you guys for joining me today. Until I see you guys in my next live stream, unfortunately, I have to end the live. Okay. See you guys later. Thank you so much. All of you. Bye.